First time I saw you, I knew you're the one. Don't wanna lose you, I need you with me. Sweet melody that I needed the most. Can't imagine life without my cherry. Without my cherry. I wanna hear you cry. I wanna bring the best in you so that we can share this life. This is Double9Radio, the best online radio station playing the best Afro beats 24/7, broadcasting online across the UK and worldwide. Do tell a friend to tell a friend.
This amazing guest, Bunmi and Dami as well. Welcome to the show. But again, yes, let's do a bit of a clap. Yeah, a bit of a clap and welcome on everybody on the show today. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I said it earlier. I was a bit nervous because I've got three ladies on the show with me today. So do bear with me just in case I start saying things and start imagining things. What can I say? But I got my Anusha here to be a backup and make sure I'm on the straight and narrow as well. Anusha, how are you today?
I am really, really good. And you know what? It's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Amazing. I'm amazing. I'm so excited to have you here as well. Welcome to our amazing guests. We got Bunmi and Dami, as I mentioned earlier as well. The amazing, wonderful ladies. Here's joining us here on Double9Radio, talking about amazing things here as well. Hopefully you're having a great time this wonderful afternoon.
Yeah. Enjoying the weather.
You're enjoying the weather. Okay.
Yes.
Good to know. Just the weather, not enjoying being on Double9Radio. No.
I mean, yeah.
And Double9Radio.
That too. That's definitely the highlight of my day, not the sun.
Not the sun. Okay, fantastic. Great to know. Great to know. So, I mean, you know, when we, kind of like find out you're going to be on the show with two amazing ladies as well. Also, first, I'm going to say congratulations on your achievement so far and on the great things you are doing and will be doing in the future. It's so great and so refreshing to come across young ladies like yourself. Not that I'm not young, but I'm just saying we're all in the same category. Young ladies like yourself doing great things and also pushing the boundaries around technology area. I'm sure my wonderful listeners out there wondering what is Double9 talking about. But you know what? You're going to find out and going to know more. I mean, Anusha, what do you say to these amazing ladies? Look, what's your thoughts on them?
Well, I was doing a little bit of research earlier on today, and I have to say, I think Bunmi is just such an impressive, she is an impressive young woman. Really, really impressive. A very, very clever and talented cookie.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Did you brag to say that? How much did you give her? How much did you give her, Bunmi?
Later, yeah. I'm really joking.
Amazing. We can't forget Dami as well. Dami doing great things as well. Okay, I mean, let's get into it. I mean, I always love to ask this question when we have guests on the show. I mean, if anyone was to ask you, Bunmi, who is Bunmi? What would you say?
Who is Bunmi? What would I say? I'll say Bunmi is very inquisitive. I love learning new things. I love knowledge. Like if I could dedicate my life to the search of knowledge, I probably would. I like trying out new things. I'm very adventurous, and I also like a lot of peace. And I love to have fun and build things. That's something about me. Like I love making things, learning about new things, and trying them out. And yeah.
Amazing. I mean, that's a lot. It shows that, there's more to Bunmi than that meets the eye there as well. I mean, that's great. Peace. One of the things that I picked out there is peace. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we want more peace around the world as we speak as well. I mean, Dami, what would you say? Who's Dami? Who's Dami as well? What would you say Dami is or who Dami is?
Dami's a storyteller. I think I've always been a storyteller in all forms. I write, I always speak, I do events. I love history. So I run a Black book club, and we only read books by Black and African authors because we're all about work that's by us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love history. I love putting on events. I'm a big like believer in community and the power of community. So I'm always putting on like immersive events to get our members together, anything Black art, literature, music, just yeah, that's who I am.
Amazing. I couldn't agree more there. You know what? Empowerment is very key because a lot of people always talk about education, but the drive to get that knowledge within yourself rather than just looking at books, read the book and engage. I mean, Anusha, would you agree on that one there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Amazing. All right, let's get a bit more into it as well. You know, I know we're talking about something amazing, which is, you know, storytelling, you know, you utilizing immersive and creative technology. I mean, when I hear the word, I'm thinking, what is that? You know, I don't know what that is. You know, and I'm in tech as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's I've gone ahead, and it just reminds me of that movie. You know, that movie where we talk about where Africa seems to be like the great technological hub. But Black Panther. Is
Uh,
Wakanda, what's it
Yeah,
called?
Black
Black
Panther.
Panther.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, Black Panther.
I'm thinking Boomy is that lady, you know, the one that was there doing all the
Oh,
moves.
wow.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, that is very, because funny story, when I was little, I wanted to be like the female version of Iron Man.
see,
So that is a huge compliment. Thank you.
amazing, amazing. See, we know that where that comes from. I mean, let's get a bit into your background. I'll understand more about, you know, how you started or ventured into theater. You know, how did that happen, and how did you, you know, merge the two together, the technology and, you know, the you know, for your productions and things? How did that happen?
So I've always been one of those kids that liked both things, art and technology. I've always been very curious at technology. From when I was younger, my dad would like allow me be his like second in command to fix things around the house. And
Wow.
I also used to like to draw and paint, and I used to write. And in Nigeria, at the time they had this thing of like you could only be one, a science student or an art
Mm.
student. So like they would be like, oh, you're great at math, so you should be a doctor or an engineer. But then I've always still loved the arts. Like I remember when I was little having to do the Zulu Sophola play World Luck of the Gods. Like it's so ingrained in my mind, that experience and how I felt like telling that story and connecting
Amazing.
with people. So it's always something I've always loved the two, technology and the arts in any form. And when I was in uni, I was doing electrical and electronic engineering degree, but I was part of the ACS, and we were putting on an annual show. I would act in it, dance in it, and it was like I was really at peace being in those two worlds.
Wow.
And when I started when I started my career, I was only
Yeah.
doing more on the technology side, and kind of felt unfulfilled. So I started writing plays. So there was a time I was writing plays every 6 months, and I got into the Royal Courts writers groups, and that kind of gave me a bit of confidence that, oh, maybe I can do this. And generally, my existence is always like between the two. So even when I stopped writing for a while,
Yeah.
I was drawing. Even and I was still making coding, making interesting things at home. Then I started writing poetry. So my being has always been like a bit of both. And yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
And
Yeah,
it's
please.
absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful because you've written an amazing show. Can you tell us a bit about it? And it's got this wonderful title. I just love this title.
Oh, yeah. So Love versus Fear and My Mother's Prayers is an immersive theater play that the storyline is about a young girl called Kike from the African diaspora, and it kind of explores the differences within the Kike and her mother, who is back in Nigeria, and it explores love and how they view love and relationships sort of differently. And it's really, I don't want to give too much away, but it really like explores this idea of how sometimes our parents want the best of us, but their delivery can sometimes be off, and how do
Yeah.
we bridge that communication gap? And it's also like interactive, so the audience gets to engage with the play in a very fun, interesting way.
Amazing.
Wow. It just sounds amazing. I think what a great title as well.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean, such a great title.
it is a great title. I mean, one of the things you picked out there, you mentioned around the parents, the African parents, how they engage, with the children. I think that when I read a bit about the synopsis about what you sent to us, where Kike is trying to find a way around a love life, and and a religious mother is very pushy, and I'm thinking to myself, this is like, this is a standard thing that happens within the African culture, within most African households and stuff like that. But no one has actually thought about, shedding a bit of light onto that. Let me bring Dami into this as well. So, I mean, for you, Dami, you play the lead role in the play as well. I mean, is this something that resonates with you? Have you had experience around this, or is this something a bit alien to you? I'm just talking about the actual role itself, not the way it was done. But yeah, please tell us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I was working with Bunmi in a completely different context, working on a writer's circle festival, and then she mentioned the story, and like I was like, this is literally my life. Kike is me. I am Kike. And then obviously I talked about my acting background, and she was like, come along to the auditions. But yeah, and even like when at the end of the show, just talking to like my friends and like even random people who came, everyone was like, oh my God, that reminded me of my mom and my auntie. And, it was triggering for this reason and that reason. So I definitely resonated with the story. And I think a lot of women, I didn't speak to a single woman who didn't connect with that story, basically.
So who would you say was like the intended audience for the show?
Um,
You say it was more kind of universal, like not just kind of like Nigerians. Would you say it was everybody?
Yeah, I think it was definitely everyone, because I think it doesn't matter what your culture, race is, like we all have, there's like a prototype of parent who thinks they know it all, or who has the best intentions, or whose intentions might be guided by religion or culture, or whatever it might be. And then you always have the child who might be of a different generation, different culture, might be brought up in the West rather than, back home, whatever it is. So yeah, I think it's very relatable, but definitely women, mothers and daughters specifically. It focuses on the mother-daughter relationship, especially because for some reason, mothers and daughters always at some point have that friction.
Yeah.
Where like they love each other, but they obviously just don't see eye to eye. So I think if you're a woman and you have a mother or a daughter, yeah, it's for you basically.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, you talk about the friction, and it's a universal thing. You can't, because you're quite right. It's something that cuts across board. You can be black, can be white. There's always some kind of friction on, you're doing this, you're doing that. You know what I mean? So I mean, you mentioned that it was your acting background that made you want to go into this role. How was it for you? Was it a bit different, because it's a bit of a not the traditional way of acting, because you have the technology there. But before we actually go into that, let me bring Bumi in there as well, because I wanted to say, Bumi, you know what? Again, you still reminded me of that lady in Black Panther. Then all that thing you mentioned, of all the things you do. I mean, a lot of people are probably listening to us now and thinking, what are these people talking about? What is immersive, technology? What is creative this? What is that? I mean, give us a bit of insight into that. What does all that mean?
So creative technology is a segment of technology space of using technology for art rather than function. So it can cover a multitude of this. We actually had a panel session on 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 Wednesday, and we're like, what is this? And everyone's like, some people are like, I can't give a definition, but if I was to give a definition, it's literally just that using technology to create um, some form of art that is not necessarily functional in a traditional sense of which we use technology. So in terms of like immersive theater, this is a very up and coming concept, and people do this differently across the board. Some people use technology, some people don't. Some people immerse audiences in spaces that are very into the spaces that are reflective of the world of the production. The way I use it is, one of my passions is humans. I'm very fascinated with human beings and the way they think and how to connect them, because it's very interesting how we're all here having this conversation, but our takeaways can be completely different.
100%.
And I find that very fascinating. So the way I like to use immersive technology in my work is to connect people and kind of gather how people are thinking, what are the similarities. So in Love versus Fear, we do that with the audience. We kind of get them to kind of engage with the play and share their opinions using gaming. The way to think about it is that I would say that one thing I love about when I'm in Nigeria is going to the cinema.
Wow.
Okay. Because I don't know if you've ever gone to cinema in Nigeria, but like it's like watching it with your family. Like everyone has commentary during the movie, and it's like it's so much more enjoyable, because like you could be watching a Marvel movie and someone would just shout, "How dare Iron Man" or something. You love it.
That's exactly how it is.
Oh my God. Okay. That's
It's
amazing.
so great. Yeah, so I want that kind of feel with my productions. I want the audience to feel that engaged, that they could be like, "Oh, this character is frustrating me," and in that instance, shares with the rest of the audience. So.
Amazing. I mean, that's remarkable. I mean, I need to go to cinema in Nigeria and experience that, because over here everybody's quiet. It's like, shh, shh. Who's talking?
We're quite reserved.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everyone's so reserved. Okay, just before I forget as well, if you're listening live or watching us live, you can always be part of the show on 074-956-36899. That's 074-956-36899. You can call us direct on that number, send a text or a WhatsApp to talk to these amazing ladies as well. I need help because they're so beautiful. I'm almost distracted, almost forgetting my lines as well. Anusha, I mean, I think you wanted to bring in a couple of thoughts as well regarding what Bunmi has been telling us.
Yeah, well, first of all, I actually am going to come and watch your show. I
Yay!
think
Yes, we are coming to watch your show.
Yes, please.
Yes.
The idea that that is interactive. I think that's just so different to anything that I've seen.
Yes.
So what made you want to do the interactive element of
Great
the show?
question. Yeah.
So it's my love of technology and art, and like combining the two, and like also just my love of connecting people and just that genuine curiosity of what are people thinking right now. A lot of times when I see technology in a lot of things, I don't know how to explain. Like there's so many things. Like I have this list notebook where I write down so many things I want to build, but I don't have all the time. So I want this with that I could be like, oh, this could be a little bit more efficient. But for me, like when it comes to technology, I always want to use it in a way that it helps people rather than take away from people. So when I was writing Love versus Fear, like I was like, what brought it about was like, oh, I wonder, like I think I wrote a scene and I was just like, I wonder how people will feel about this. And I wonder how many people have this similar story. And then in my mind, I was like, oh, how can I use technology for this? And that's sort of how building the play came about.
If I've got this right, so that means that every show is technically different. Is that right?
So initially, when I first did Love versus Fear, when I first started playing around with the concept, every ending was different. For this Fringe show, we have less of that. There's only one line that changes depending on something. But when we grow it out, I might bring back that like split ending based on the audience.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow. I am super excited. You know, the way you describe it, it's just making me so super excited. I can't wait to get on and be part of the audience as well. I might become immersed into the show as well.
Yay!
You never know. But I mean, Dami, for you, because it's not a traditional way of acting. You know, I mean, you mentioned you've done quite a number of acting roles as well, and you write books as well. I mean, when you read a book, you want to immerse yourself in that book as well, and understand and be the character in that book as well. So for you, you know, taking on this particular, I want to call it an amazing challenge or a unique challenge. How was that for you?
No, it was definitely a unique challenge. I've never done a one-man show before
Right.
where I am the character and I'm also the person the character's having conflict with. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was really interesting because it was just me on the stage. Bunmi had me addressing the audience
Mm,
basically the whole time. So it was like I was talking to my friends, expressing how I felt.
yeah.
So I was quite comfortable in that way because I obviously connected with Kike and the story, but then also I was her mother, and so I had to sympathize with my mom because my mom and Kike's mom are quite similar. So yeah, I had to connect with both characters and their differences, but also portray them. Yeah, it was interesting. Bumi can attest to the challenges that I had. Like, it was interesting having to confront myself and my mom within the play that I'm starring in. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah,
Unleashing some
And
of those old wounds, I can imagine,
yeah.
quite therapeutic. So, I mean, as an actress, do you think it's harder to kind of like be on stage by yourself, or do you think it's harder to be, working and interacting with other actors on the stage? What would you say was easiest?
I think it's definitely easier to have other people on stage because then you have the energy to bounce off of, and even if it comes to improvising, there's a reciprocal energy that you have on the stage with you. But when it's just you, you literally have to take up the whole stage. You have to be very present. Yeah. So I think it's definitely easier in that sense, but I still enjoyed it. And I think for me, because Bumi made it like, I don't know, she's such a
No,
genius. The way she
no.
wrote it, it
I
was
I want to dive into Bumi's brain. You know, is it?
honestly, I wish I could.
'Cause I'm listening to everyone speak and amazing questions from Anusha as well, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, let's go back a step. You know, how did Bumi come up with this idea? How did she, think, okay, you know what, I want to birth this idea, I want to make it happen? Because sometimes we have ideas and people think, are you mad? How you gonna make that happen? You know, especially from our background culture, because a lot of people see possibilities first before they see the thing, manifesting in real life. I mean, how did you push that challenge through to make it, to take it where it is today for me? Tell me, because I want to learn.
I
Where's my notes? I need to take notes now. Go on, tell me.
Honestly, it's just God, and I have a very supportive family and
Wow,
supportive set of friends. Like my parents have always allowed me be, and I'm grateful for that. And they're very supportive about it. Like, and I have very great friends, and honestly, just God as well,
amazing.
because every time I've talked about like, because when I first decided the concept, I took a while before I started writing it again. And my friends will all be like, oh, when are you going to write it? We're so excited. And they just keep me going.
Yeah,
And when I would tell my mom that, oh, I want to do this thing, she'd be like, just do it, don't procrastinate. So I'm really just grateful to God for having like very supportive friends and family in my life that have pushed me, like my sisters, like every time I've had like a bit of a, oh, what am I gonna do? I've called like one of my sister, and she's like, you can do this. Like this is why friends and family are for. I call my best friends or my mom or like my brother, my sister. So honestly, and just God, like
amazing,
yeah.
amazing, 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 amazing.
I guess it's less fear, more love.
Yeah.
More love, yes,
Wow.
love.
Wow. Wow.
You like how I did that?
I
I
love
know. I
that.
love. I love. I
I
love.
love that.
I
Yeah.
love.
And also like having like Dami on the team and like the Mudhut team putting this together, like honestly, Dami made like putting this together so easy for me. Like working with her, like she's just so talented. Like she's just so talented, so resourceful. Like she really just like really helped make this vision come alive. So like I'm also grateful for her and the rest of the Mudhut team.
Will
Amazing.
be.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, you know what? I am so inspired and really happy to see, wonderful ladies like yourself, birthing an idea and bringing it into reality as well. It can be a challenge. And I think the amazing supports you have has propelled you to where you are today. And I think that's quite amazing. And I think it should be very inspiring to anyone listening out there to say, you know what, once you can do something, you can do it. I was going to use Anusha Love's tagline. I can't remember it. I think, you know, Anusha, what was your tagline again? Tell me. Love and what was it? The tagline you just did. You know, to look at it.
more
It
love.
was more love.
All of
More love, yes. You know, because it's such inspiring because, you know, we look at the you know, upcoming generation now. They're so you know, distracted by social media. A lot of them have a lot of ideas and things like that, but to do it or to take the right step forward is where the challenge is. So, I mean, a quick summary of how you took it from your mind into paper and into reality. How long does that take, and what steps you have to do? I mean, just a quick summary about it. You know, I mean, I'm taking notes as well. You know.
So when I first did Love versus Fair, this is like how I think my family lets me be. I think I was really young at the time, like I was in my mid-20s. And I literally just had this idea and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. And I didn't really think about what you need to do when you say you do this thing. And I remember my sister, my friends being supportive, but then obviously I think I learned very harshly how hard the arts can be from that experience.
Yeah.
And at the time, I don't think I necessarily had the maturity to be like, okay, like these things take work, these things take time. You have to work on your confidence. You have to like be open to criticism so you can improve things. I didn't necessarily have that at the time. So I stopped pushing on with the idea for a while. But then, like I said, I was always restless. Like I still needed some form of art expression. So I write poetry and I would write draw. But then there's something about like some ideas for me, they literally haunt me.
Wow.
And every time I'll be like, oh, I want to do this again. I want to just redraft it, learn the lessons from the first installation, make it better. But then I would be like, and then I'll leave it for a while and then it would just keep coming back. And then I decided to like say, I literally sat down one day and I was like, what are the things? I had this like internal reflection with myself where I was just like, what are the things stopping me from doing what I wanted to do?
Yeah.
And I talked to like my family. I started interviewing people in my life that I knew that are very bold, just do what they want, like my parents, my sisters, my siblings, my friends that I knew. And I would ask them like literal question like, why aren't you afraid to do this thing? And I like because I'm a scientist, I look at things very like systematically sometimes. And then I started like figuring out what I'm gonna be very, very what's the word? Very, very like break things down in steps because analytical, because that's just the way I am. And so I broke things down in steps and I was like, okay, like what are my weaknesses? Like what is stopping me from doing this? I had lost discipline. So I started doing like one of these MOOC courses on learning and being more disciplined. And then I would read books on psychology, on procrastination, good work ethic. And then I started like applying those things into my life and just having something for building my support system, like my parents, my friends, telling them I want to do this again so they can keep me accountable, like just getting close to my faith, because sometimes for me, faith is important because as humans, I feel sometimes you can't do this by yourself. And then literally just taking, and then also being very, very kind to myself. So just because I didn't write today or I didn't email this person today doesn't mean I'm a failure. I can do that tomorrow. And like people in my family really helped me with that. And then just trying to build on that discipline. Like Dami has seen it, like on my Instagram, I have like all these like procrastination stop apps. I haven't quite cured it, but it reduces it a bit. Like I can't look at Instagram past 10 o'clock except it's on my laptop and it's not as fun. And then just allowing myself to also know that this is a learning process and be open to that, because the thing with me about being analytical, I'm also an overachiever, and I found over the years that kind of stopped me like because sometimes I'll be like, oh, if this thing isn't perfect, then it isn't good. Like I've always been like that. My mom would say that when I was small, I'll get a 90 on a test and I'll cry. So, but then I had to heal that inner child to be like, no, life is like a learning experience. Everything you do, everything might not be perfect, but at least you did it. And the next time you do it again. And like, I remember having this conversation with my father where I think I had done an installation and I wasn't quite happy. Like I went, like it was good, but I wanted it to be better. And my dad would like look at me in like the dining room and he's like, you're acting like if you're not going to do this again. And that really shifted my thing. And he was like, you do it again and you do it better. So why are we like still here?
Amazing. You know, you just given us the blueprint of success. If anyone's listening, you know, it's your lucky day because Bunmi just gave us a blueprint, a print of success there. Anusha Laws, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. I think you are a product of your environment. And I think when you surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you, encourage you, and bring the best out of you,
Yeah.
I think the possibilities are endless.
I know. So, you know, and I think but I need to hang around with you more. So, you know, I'll be calling upon you. I mean, I can see the effects on Dami already. You know, giving her a radiant smile and giving her the opportunity to do amazing things as well. I mean, you know, I've been thinking about technology. You know, this technology bit as well. I think you had a question. Yeah.
So obviously, you know, you're doing amazing things. And I just wanted to know what advice would you give to up and coming theatre professionals who are looking to incorporate technology into their productions?
I would say that like as a theater professional, you're creative, and as a creative, you play, you like experiment, you let your artistry just lead you where you want. So if you have an idea, the best thing artists can do when they have an idea is try it out. Like if you're not technical, try to find like a partner because there are a lot of people in the creative technology space. Like I used to lecture at ULA on creative technology, and there's so many up and coming, very bright young people that are looking for work to do in creative technology. So they're very open to partnering with you, even if it's not theater, any form of like artistry. And then if you're not able to find someone to partner with, like people say that I say this a lot, and it might not be necessarily true, but I literally believe that anyone can learn to be a technologist. It's like learning to ride a bike or to read or to learn a new language. To me, it's the same exact thing. But when I say that, my friends say it's because I
she's not techie at all. But I believe I kind of agree because I mean I you know didn't study technology at university. I studied something different totally. But I find myself exploring and learning as I go. And I kind of like, you know, dived into it and learned quite a number of things. I'm not going to start showing off now. I don't want to say too much. I know. But I mean, you're right. You know, if you can't do it, find a partner who can do it. As you know, Anusha's tagline, love is the way, you know, find a way to get it done. And again, Dami, I want to come to you again. Like, you know, I can't wait to see this amazing show because I will be there, you know, and I'm going to be immersed into it. Yeah. So if you see someone waving or shouting, just know it's me. I mean, if you look at it, did you have has there been any challenges, you know, any good sides, the bad sides? What would you do differently if you had opportunity to start all over again? You know, because anyone looking at you know, I'm thinking, you know, it must be really easy, but you know what? Because you have Bunmi on the side. You know, what would you say?
Yeah, I think the main challenge was kind of because the thing with acting, and we spoke about this when we were rehearsing the day before our first show, is usually the actor, like there's a reason why you've gotten that role.
Yeah.
And essentially it's like confronting the part of you that connects with the role. But Bunmi made it super easy. Bunmi, like, she literally, anytime I would get in my head, Bunmi would be like, nah, let's like scream. Let's just scream. Let's just
Wow.
do
Let
star
it out.
jumps.
Yes.
Just like let it go, let it out kind of thing. So yeah, I think the main challenge would have been like confronting certain things about myself, about my mom, and just being like, oh my God, this is actually a really triggering story for me and for so many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And I think Bunmi wrote the play in such a way, like it's hilarious. And so it almost softens the
Amazing.
blow of the actual story and what's going on. Have I answered the question? I feel like I'm waffling.
No, you have. You have.
So I want to know, has your mum seen the play and what does she think about it?
Do you know what? Oh, my mum's just such a Nigerian. She came to the show, but she was late. And
Oh,
then they
no.
wouldn't, and so she couldn't get in, but she's gonna come to the next one. But I was a bit nervous because I was like, oh my God, like,
No.
so we'll find out on the
Find
17th.
out. We'll find out. Okay. Okay. I mean, love versus fear. My mother's prayers. I mean, I can't wait to see it as well. So, if anyone listening in now is thinking, you know what, I am sold. I want to see this show. What do they need to do? Boomy.
If you want to see the show, you can either go to the Camden Fringe website and look up Love versus Fear and My Mother's Prayers. Or you can go to like our Instagram page at MudHut.io and you can look at the link in there, and then it has like the show dates and also like the special reading event we're doing on the 15th of August.
Okay. Okay. Sounds amazing. Anusha, are we going?
I think we should go.
Yay!
I'm already there.
Yeah.
I'm already there. I'm already there. I can't wait to see Dami in action. You know, I can't wait to be immersed in
Can't
it.
wait to see Dami's mum's reaction.
Oh
That's what
my
I can't wait.
goodness.
Oh, I did. You know,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. She's coming with her friends,
Oh,
so
wow.
Oh, wow.
Good luck, Dami. You know, but just stay focused. We got your back. We got your back. It should be amazing. I mean, you know what? I've had such a great time with everyone on the show today, Dami, Bumi, and amazing Anusha loves. But you know what? I always ask this question before we close, right? So I have done my research, right, on both of you. Yes. So I'm going to ask you. Let's start with Dami first, right? So I'm going to ask you a question saying that you're going to tell us something no one knows. You're exclusively revealing it here. Something fun, a fun fact about you that no one knows. And you can't tell me something someone already knows because I already know. So a fun fact that no one knows, exclusively live here on Double9Radio. See, Dami's thinking already quickly.
oh gosh. Oh, a fun fact that no one knows.
Yes.
Um, um, I don't know if this is a fun fact, but
Okay.
I really want a big family. I really want a big family, so I've always said I was gonna have like 9 kids.
Oh
Eesh.
my gosh.
Mayday.
I think with time, I'm starting to realize it's not very realistic, but is that a
I-
fun fact?
Do you come from a big family?
No, I'm an only child.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I
Yeah.
want like
Okay.
loads of kids.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, we can understand that. Okay, Boomy, you had quite a number of minutes there to think about it. And
Oh my
again,
God.
we know everything about you already. So you have to tell us something exclusive that no one knows.
I was going to talk about my plants, but if you see my Instagram, you know I like a bit of gardening. Oh, I like to learn random facts, and then I can sort of get like engrossed in very random information.
Okay.
So examples are like the political cats of the UK, like the chief mouser, and then also I know random things about like pandas.
Oh wow.
Oh, give us a panda fact. I want to hear a panda fact.
So I hope I'm saying I might get the name wrong, but one of the famous panda is How How, and she's shaped like a dumpling
Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
she's very little.
Wow.
I didn't
And
know
then
that.
the first brown panda had a fight with his friend, and he bit his ear off.
Oh, no.
And then in the first brown panda in captivity, and then he made fun of him biting off his friend's ear to another panda. So
Wow.
pandas are extremely intelligent. Like sometimes when I watch these panda videos, I'm like, are they human or is this misinformation? Because now I don't know.
Have you ever seen Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen Kung
These are
Fu
not real
Panda.
life.
Yeah. Is it,
Basically.
Yeah, they just have a lot of personality. Like I
yeah.
went through, I think her name is India on TikTok. She has introduced me to like the panda, and I find those videos very soothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sensing something along the lines of maybe immersive technology, panda movie, panda theater.
Who knows?
No, the next show.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Anusha, I mean, anything else you want to say to our amazing guests today before we say bye to them and see them at the show on the 19th of August as well. We will be sharing details of the tickets on our Instagram page as well to make sure you get your tickets. And if you want to see the amazing Anusha loves there as well, go on then, Anusha.
Just want to say, I think you're doing wonderful, wonderful things, ladies. And obviously, the younger generations are looking to you and they're going to be inspired. And like you said, we need more love, less fear.
Oh my gosh.
I love
I love that.
it.
I
Why
love
don't we
that.
steal that?
I love it. More love, less fear. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful with our amazing guest here on the show. It's been Bunmi, the amazing producer or the creator of the theater show, Love versus Fear, by my mother's story, if I got that right. Yes. And my mother's story is coming up on the 19th of August as well. Make sure you do get your tickets. We will be there to support the amazing Dami as well. And our mom's entourage is going to be there as well. You don't want to miss that show. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be mind blowing as well. And it's been great, ladies, to have you on the show. I want to say a big thank you. And I wish you greater success in all you do. And I can't wait for the next one, because I know Bumi's mind is working. Bumi's already seeing technology. Are you going to create like a, Double9Radio or Double9 immersive person or something? I mean, I can take auditions if you want me to.
If you leave me a while in my mind, I can start thinking about it.
I know. Wonderful. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful to be Double9Radio. But in the meantime, stay locked on, stay locked in. As you know, we always go with amazing vibes coming to your show here on Double9Radio. And if you're watching us live on YouTube, head over to our audio link, because you know what? We got some amazing vibes on a Friday. It's, as you know, it's Afrobeat with amazing Anusha Loves and Double9. Stay locked on, stay locked in. Always amazing to have you on the show.
It's Double9Radio, the best online radio station playing the best.